In Chodesh Tov. We began yesterday the sugya of Taruvis, and we saw the shitas of min b'mino versus min b'sheina mino. We said min b'sheina mino is noisen tam, min b'mino is b'mashahu. We had a machloikis between Rav Shmuel and Rabbi Yochanan and Rish Lakish. This din of mashahu, is it only by what? By two places, tevel and only by two places, by tevel and yayin esech, or is it, or like Rabbi Shmuel that no, it's a din b'kol terakula that min b'mino is b'mashu. So that was machloikis. In addition, we had another machloikis how to define what a min is. What makes something a min? So according to Abaye, it depends upon taste. If it tastes the same, that's mino. According to Rava, it depends upon shma, upon the name. And we saw Ritva to explain where Reicha came in, and then we saw a case of Bastihi about Reicha, but Reicha Milsi, Lav Milsihi. Rava, according to Rava, it's Lav Milsi. According to Abaye, it is Milsihi. And now we're up to Samich Zayin Amid Aleph. Samich Zayin Amid Aleph. Zeh Klal, he said, Kol Shahabanosai Benoisein Tam. The Mishnah said, anything that Bahanosai is Benoisein Tam is Aser. Kol She'ein Bahanosai Benoisein Tam is Mutta. In other words, if the Taru voice is not Noisein Tam Lishvach, but it's Noisein Tam Lifgam, then it's going to be Mutter. Kigon Chomet Shenafal Gabe Grisin. For example, vinegar that falls on beans or some type of grits, whatever that is, so that if it falls on top of it is noisin tam lifgam, and even if you don't have shishim, it'll be mutta. So this is the sugya of noisin tam lifgam. So in order for to give tam to be also, if you don't have shishim keneged, it has to give a positive flavor. If it gives a negative flavor, then even if you don't have shishim, it would still be mutta. Even if it doesn't have shishim, it'll still be mutta. So Amrav Yudah Mishmuel Hachi Hilcha. So that's the halacha that noisin tam lefagam is muta. The noisin tam lefagam is muta, as I paskin Shmuel. For Amrav Yehuda Mishmuel, however, there's an addendum. Lo yishanu that it's muta noisin tam lefagam el shenafal etoich grisin roischen. The chaymetz is falling into boiling beans. Then it gives a negative flavor. Aval nafal etoich grisin soininin. If it falls into cold beans. Right now, when it falls into cold beans, it enhances the flavor. So now it's noisin tam l'shvach. However, behersichon, if you go ahead and you heat it up afterwards, and then it becomes what? Lifgam, nasa kami shehishbiach will be safe pogam. It's like it was enhanced, and in the end, what? It became pogam. In the end, and then it became pogam, v'aser. So, in order to be noisin tam lefagam, it has to be right away lefgam. But if it falls in initially and it's positive, and then eventually it becomes negative, then not. Then it would be aser. So that was the Shmuel, Rav Hudin named Shmuel. V'chein ki aser Ravin Amar Rabbi Rav Chana Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Lo yishanu l'shnafel l'toich krisin roischin. That noisin tam lefagam is mutter is only falls into boiling hot beans. So we have gedoli Amaroyim saying noisin lefagam is what is mutter. We have Shmuel and we have Ravin in the name of Rabbi Rachana and the great Rabbi Yochanan. So pretty much you can be samech on this. The ki aser Rav Dimi as well, and that if you put it in initially and it was positive, and then you boiled it, it became negative, became lefgam, it would be aser. This putting chaymitz on cold beans, they would go ahead and do in the town of Tzipuri. And they called it shechlayim. That's the famous cress that we threw out shas, right? We have cress. That's what they would do. They wouldn't boil it up afterwards. But what do you see? The fact that you go ahead and put this vinegar on cold beans, l'shvach, we see that it's a positive thing. But again, from all these manda omrim, we can ascertain they all hold noisin tam l'shvach, lifgam is mutter. For every one of these, right? The only reason it was us over here, because initially it was shvach. But if initially it was lifgam, every one of these amoraim would hold mutter. So you have a whole litany of great gedolim, gedoli amoraim, holding noisin tam lifgam is mutter. Amrei Shlakish. Noising tam lefagam. Okay, let's say you have a case like this, guys. You have a case of there are other factors that are influencing it. Let's say you have, I'm putting this thing in, and the vinegar and the greasing, let's say, and it's going to be lufgam. But let's say there's other problems. Let's say it wasn't salted well. Let's say there's something else I could be toila that it's not tasting good. So I'm just giving the case of that was the case they gave. Let's say you have beans and you have beans and hot and chaymitz. You put this together. It's hot. It doesn't taste. Let's say the beans. Let's say even without that, it wouldn't taste good. Let's say without that, it wouldn't taste good. Let's say there's no salt, there's no spice. So even if you didn't put the chaymitz in, it wasn't tasting well at all. Would you say noisin tam lefagam is asur or muta? In other words, do you need only the vinegar putting the bad taste in? But if there are other things putting the taste in, we won't say noisin tam lefagam? Or no, as long as the vinegar itself will not go ahead and give a positive flavor, even though there are other factors, it's not salted, it's not spiced, then it still would be nice to tam lefgam. Those are the two stadim of the shaila, and we paskin both ways. In other words, we don't paskin. The Gemara brings two ways. The first opinion is when do you say nice in tam lefgam is mutter? Is that's the only game in town? If it wasn't for that chaymitz, it would taste great. But let's say there is another reason that it wouldn't taste great. It's missing spices. It's missing salt. Then we won't say nois and tam v'gam. We'll say it's asar. That's the first lashon. The second lashon is no. As long as this itself, if is going to give nois and tam v'gam, even if there are other factors, even if there's no salt, we'd still say it's mutter. Those are the two tzadim. Says the Gemara. Amrei Shlakish. Nois and tam v'gam she'amru. It's missing those ingredients. It can't be missing anything. And it can't be eaten because of what? Because of this. Then it's mutter. What happens if what? If it's missing those ingredients, then taka, it would be usr. Then it would be usr. So it's a chumrah in the first lashon. It's a chumrah. The taka will be nice in tam lefgam with the vinegar. But guess what? I have another reason it's nice in tam lefgam. It doesn't have salt. It doesn't have spices. Therefore, it will be asa. That's the first way. The ikadiyami, the other way, amaresh lakish, nice in tam lefgam sha'amru, ein oimrim kedei rezu chasera melech chasera tavlin, elahashtamiya hapagma. What we care about right now, it's pagam. We don't care that it's missing other ingredients. Even if it's missing on other ingredients. And it will be poigim because there's other ingredients. If I know it would be poigim right now because it has vinegar, that's enough. And that's a kula. Guys, you heard the tut stadim? Guys, you heard the tut stadim, right? It's clear. Okay. Okay, that's the again, each one of these guys is a sugi b'fnei atzma. What happens is the Rishonim go to town and then the Shulchan Aruch takes off. That's why when I say like it's like almost I feel almost guilty going through this. Like, okay, like there's so much here. It's really these are the sugis of Taruvis. These are the main sugis of Taruvis. They're brought down in Tzadches. This happens to be in Kuf Gimel. But anyway, the next sugya is even a bigger sugya, fellas. When you have, pig is asa, right? Pig is asa. Let's say you have a pig and it's in a cholent. Okay. You don't have shishim keneged the pig, forget about it. You take out the pig. You take out the pig. Is that shalom mutter or not? So what are you going to tell me? 1 second, don't they have the flavor of the pig? Don't you have the flavor of the pig there? Question. Is that flavor of the pig midrabanan or midaraisa? Is tam ki'ikr the rabbanon or the raisa? Ta'am, the taste, ki'ikr. The Gemara's lashon is taimoi umashashay. Taimoi, the flavor, umashashay, and the mamashas of the isa. The other terms that we shown him is tam ki'ikr. In other sugis and shas, the Nazir, the Mishras Nazir, Tam Ki'ika. So this is a major sugi in Shas. And we're going to say it in a few minutes at most. Says the Gemara. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Kol shetamoi umashoshay, anything that has tam umashoshay, like in a love, v'zo kedei b'kedei b'chilas pras. So in order to get bichayev for eating machalas yisuros, it has to be an achila. First, haste an achila. So when we think of eating, oh, that's no problem. Put the food in our mouth, we eat, right? Halachically, what's considered eating? You have to eat the shear of Isser. What's the shear of Isser? That's Kedei Achilas Pras. That's the time it takes to half a loaf of bread. Okay? And there's a big Rashi over here. Let's do a little bit of it for sure. Kol shetayim yom mashlei loiken love v'zo kedayis b'chtei achilas pras. Val kikoyin zeh nemar shir kezayis b'chtei achilas pras. Guys, halacha Moshe Misinai. Rashi tells us the shear of eating kedei achilas pras is halacha Moshe Misinai. Shem yesh b'kashir pras shel tamshel kezayis min iser. If you have in the time you can eat this amount, and in that amount there's a kezayis of iser, loiken love. So guys, here's the lashon: kezayis, the shear of a kezayis of isa, bichdei achilas pras, in the time it takes to eat a pras. Got it? That's the lashon: kezayis of iser, bichdei, in order achilas pras. Halacha Moshe Mishinai. Afal pi she'en kezayis shel isa nechal b'vas. When you eat it, your first chew, you're not eating kezayis. However, since you don't delay in your achila, from the time you ate, till you completed eating, the time of eating, of pras, it's mitztaref the achila v'loika. So guys, let's say you have a kezayis of Isra over here in this tafshel. You go ahead, you eat, and you wait 15 minutes, and then you eat again. That's considered two achilas, so you did not eat the shear. In order to be chayiv, you'd have to eat that kezayis in the time it takes a pras. So 2 minutes and 4 minutes, or 9 minutes. Again, we go through. You know where you get these two shiurim by chilas matzah. We do it leheter as well. You have to eat a kezayis of matzah, or 2 kezayis, like we are machmer, right? In that period of time. So that's where it comes in. In the positive way. That is halacha Moshe Misinai, the share of achila. Kedei achilas pras. I think it's the time you stay inside the menuga, base menuga, if I remember, in Getame. So this is the share kedei achilas. These are all you say this Rashi. Okay, so back in the Gemara. Rabbi Yochanan, kol shetaimu mashashay asa. If you have both tam and you have the ikar, you have the mashashay. There's the like and love, kezayis for the achilas pras on the base. Tam v'loy mashashay, you have tam, but you don't have mamashas. Aser. However, vein like and love, you don't get malchus. You don't get malchus. You know why? Because tam ki'ika is the rabbanan. Here you only right tam ki'ika. The tam is like the ikka, but you don't have the ikka. It's the rabbanan. That's the lumdus behind this. This is the lumdus behind this. Okay? Rashi gives a very interesting case, guys. Tam of mashoy kigain chalav shenafal kedera, ay chalav shenafal nimuach she'im mashoy be'en. It's not be'en. Okay? So I was wondering if that's chalav or chalav. I think it's chalav. Hang on 1 second. Look at Tosfos Samich Zayin, guys, Amid Aleph. We're not going to do the whole Tosfos, just going to do the beginning to get Pshat and Rashi. Rabbi Yochanan, the last Tosfos on the page. The one that extends all the way down this page, okay? Rabbi Yochanan, Kol shetaymo umashashay asa, for like and a love, time of loy mashashay asa vein like and a love. Pirish Rashi, Beperikid Anosha, Mikan, the tam ki'ikar lav da raisa. Like I said, right? The tam ki'ikar is not the raisa because you're not getting malchus. Upirish kigoin, and he says over here, kigoin chalav Nafal l'tech basa. Guys, I'm glad. You think sometimes you think like you're an idiot. Take a look at the Bach Hey. See the Bach Hey? Keep going. The Bach put in the Kuda. He put in the Chalav. The Bach put in the Chalav. Okay, so I feel like so it says keep going, guys. For example, going Chalav shenafal l'tech basa, or Chalev shenafal nimuach, or Chalev nimuach. So guys, the Bach Hey took care of it, right? He put in Bach the Chalav. Look, he says Chalav and Chalev. You see? You see? Look, he puts in the Kuda there. So Geshmak. So he has kashas on Rashi regarding Chalav. Okay, bottom line, let's get back by us, because that Chalav is the Raisa. Anyway, so what Obi, you have, let's go back by us. So you have Chalav or Chalev, and you don't have, it's not there anymore. It's like you took the pig out. It's not there. The mamashos is melted. You don't have, all you have is the flavor of it. You don't have it anymore. In that case, it's Tam Ki'ik is going to be the Rabbanan. And since it's the Rabbanan, you won't get Malchus. That's Rabbi Yochanan's memra. However, the imriba tam lifgam, right? Muta. Now, if the funny lashon, guys, riba, right? It should be nasan tam lifgam, right? Riba, Rashi, v'imriba tam lifgam, hariba kula mashma. Riba's mashma kula. Sheafa pishin nifgam machmas davracher. Even though it was nifgam because of something else, im hoyel isazel. The rabbi says hapagam muta. If it helps, right? If it helps, then it's going to be muta. So this is like Reish Lakish's, right? The lema first the Gemara in nasan tam lif. Why do you say riba? In nasan tam lifkam muta. Hakamashmalan. The afagav the ikka mili achrinasa. Even though there's something else, the pagma. You got right? You have salt. Bahade the hilchasa kalishna basra. The Reish Lakish. Now lachamad is like Reish Lakish, right? Rashi says, "V'miba tam lifgam hariba kula mashma shiafa pishin nifgam machmas davaracher." Even though something else was poigim it, im hoyel is el rabbi says hapagam mutter. So guys, we said, let's say you had something else. It's poigim because not because of the choimitz. It's poigim because of too much salt. So the first lashon on the Amid Aleph was no. It's going to be mutter. It's going to be asa. Over here, we're saying it's muta. As long as this itself will be nifgam, if this will be poigim it's going to be asa. Good. Vim riba pirish. It is poigim because of too much salt. Vim riba, and now you have more isser. You have more chaylev giving a worse taste. It's going to be muta. And the chiddush is that we go like the second lashon of Reish Lakish to be mekel, that as long as this will be poigim, even though there's other reasons to be poigim in, right? Some other reasons to be poigim. Rav Kana, midivrei kulam nolmad, from the words of all the Amaroyim on the Amid Aleph, Rabbi Yehuda in the name of Shmuel, Rabbi Baruch Chana in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Dimi, Reish Lakish, Rabbi Vahu, we all can ascertain that Nois and Tam Lefgam is mutter. That was the whole sugya. All the cases we gave were cases of Nois and Tam Lefgam as being mutter. The shaila was, if it's the only game in town, right? They would, but you were going with, if you knew it was, that's the reason it was poigim and nothing else, it was poigim it'd be mutter. Amalei Abaya, Bishleim Mekuloi Lechai. Very good, all of them, you have a raya. Ela Reish Lakish, Amru Kamar, V'leilei Svirlei. Reish Lakish was, if you look at the Lashon of Reish Lakish, guys, Amru Reish Lakish, Noisei Tam V'gam Sha'amru, the Noisei Tam V'gam that they said, Loi Sheyamru Kedei Rezu Chaser. In other words, he's quoting them. He's not telling you his shita. So you went ahead and assumed that Reish Lakish holds Noisei Tam V'gam is mutter. Maybe he doesn't hold that way. He's just saying somebody else. So that's what the Gemara comments on. So back by us. Reish Lakish Amru Kamar. He said Amru V'leilei Svirlei. Right? And they don't hold like that. Mechal de'iklam on the Amru Noisei Tam V'gam is asa. Guys, when Reish Lakish said Amru, they said, it's mashma, they said it's mutter. There must be other people who say it's asa. Who are the other people that says it's asa? That Noisei Tam Lefgam would be asa. Who are those other people? In here they are. Vatanya. Echad noisin tam. Vatanya. This is the one that says it's asa. Echad noisin tam lefgam. Ve'echad noisin tam leshvach. Asa de Remeya. There you go. Remeya is the one. Remeya holds noisin tam lefgam would be asa. He doesn't have the head of noisin tam lefgam. Shimon Amar leshvach. Asa lefgam muta. So no. In other words, Amru, Reish Lakish said, Amru, they said that it's muta, must be others say it's asa. Who's the one that says it's asa? It's Reb Meir. It's Reb Meir, guys. And Shimon's the one who said that the Tana, again, on the Amid Aleph fellows, we all had Amoraim saying it's nice and Tam Lefgam is muta. Here we have a Tana, Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, saying nice and Tam Lefgam is muta. My time with the Reb Meir, what's the reason Reb Meir that said it's asa? He learns from Midian. Fellas, what happened by Midian? We captured Midian. We captured a lot of spoils. Then the Torah tells us how to go ahead and anything that cooked in fire, you need libun. Right? We went in the whole process of the whole process, fellas, of kashering the kalim. But one second, isn't anything coming out of the kli going to be what? Leisin tam lefgam? Guys, they caught these kalim, right? These kalim weren't used. There was a war going on. It wasn't being used. And the assumption is that after 24 hours of not being used, anything that's going to come out of it is the lefgam. And nonetheless, what's required? Hagala, libun is kashrus, right? You have to kasher it. So what do you see? That the flavor of pgam is asr. That's the source for Remeya. Seguli avikachovim, the gil, the flavors that's coming out of the walls. Lav Leisin Tam Lefgam, who is not Leisin Tam Lefgam, the Asr Achmon, and the Torah asks it. Hachanami Leishna, here also Leishna. That's the opinion of Remeya. V'idach, and Reb Shimon, what does Reb Shimon do with Remeya's raya? K'Rav Huna, Reb Rav Chia, Dam Rav Huna, Reb Chia, Lo Yasser Torah El Kedei Bas Yaimoy Deloi Lefgam. Who? Ein Achinami. The only kalim, guys, that you had to go ahead and kasha would be one that you knew wasn't not used that day. But what, right? Because that was used that day. Since it was used that day, it's not nice time of gam. But anything that wasn't used that day, you wouldn't have to do it. So the whole kashrus was for kalim that were nice and tam l'shvach, the ones that were used. But the ones that weren't used, that you didn't have to. So therefore, your raya Remeya is nishkan raya. What does Remeya do with the taina wad of Rav Shimon? Guys, the Rav Shimon is correct, right? On that he says, Kedera bas yamin nami yefshel le pagma porta. Even the Kedera bas yama, the reason you have to do it is not because it's l'shvach, because once, even that day already, it's turning sour a little bit, and still you had to go ahead and kasher. So you see, nice and tam l'shvach, nice and tam l'fagam would be asa. For Shimon my timer, what's Rav Shimon's reason that nice and tam l'fagam is muta? The Tanya, it says, like soichlu kol nevela, do not eat any nevela. Legera shebesherecha, right? You should get titnana, give it to the ger. Kol aroya leger karuya nevela. She'ein ruya leger, ain't a kari nevela. Guys, if it's kari nevela because it's still fresh and edible, then you give it to a guy, a ger toishev. However, if it's not called not fresh, then what? If it's not fresh, then not. If it's not fresh, then not. If it's not fresh, then what? Then it's not called nevela, right? Rashi she'ena real lager, shehisricha. It's not real lager because it became putrefied. Alma mida afkim, once it's pogim, but lisura. So nevela is called nevela as long as it's edible. Once it's not edible, it's not called nevela anymore. What does Remeya do with what? That's to exclude that what? It was initially, it was srucha. Rashi says, for example, the animal was a mukach shchin. The animal had some type of disease, right? And therefore, it was, even before it was shechted, it was what? It was asra. Therefore, it wasn't a vela. Shimon srucha meikara leitzricha, right? Miyuta, one that was, you don't need a pasuk to tell me that an animal that was putrefied while it was still alive, you don't need a pasuk. That afra ba'almahu. It's mamish afra ba'alma. You have today's daf, guys. You have the whole sugya of leisin tam lefgam. We have only one sheet of the sheet of the Meya that says it is that is asa. We all hold it. It's mutter. Big chelik and Shulchan Aruch about it. It's a tremendous heta, guys. Tremendous heta, guys. How most of the time, if your wife uses a pot that's a fleishiks for milchiks, if it's not a ben yomo, you don't have a problem because it's nice and tam lifkan. Again, this is a tremendous, tremendous heta regarding achila, regarding kashrus, different halachas. But again, a tremendous heta. Okay, again, as stated yesterday, we did the reason why we blow shofar today. Tekiah, we blow shofar today is because Moshe Rabbeinu went up to get the second luchos on Rosh Chodesh Elul, and he went up b'tzrua. So it's a reminder for us to go ahead and check into ourselves again, just as HaKadosh Baruch Hu now was giving Bnei Yisrael a chance for tshuva, and Moshe was giving the second luchos for us as well. That was, and Rabbi Yitzchak Isaac Sher, Zechat Tzaddik Kadosh Lefracha, was reminding us that since time is one that fritters away and it's something in our mind, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us physical manifestations as a reminder. He gives us physical manifestations as a reminder. So here's another piece about David Hashem Oiri. This is going on with David Hashem Oiri, okay? So I didn't, the few lines on the other page, here's the few lines on the other page. You don't see it here yet. V'oi tiknu laha kadmoinim, loimar, b'choder zeh, b'chol yoim, es hamizbar p'tehilim David Hashem Oiri, mimi ira. V'inyan omer perek zeh. Why do we say to David Hashem Oiri? Guys, you say it every year. Why do we say it? Hu habitacham, hamuchlit b'Hashem. That's bitachon that we totally given over to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sheyaza loy b'chol inyanav. Hashem is going to help us in every single way. Heina gashmian, whether it's in physical, v'heina ruchnian, whether it's in spiritual. V'yoz kasha adam. Now we're going to pick it up. V'yoz kasha adam b'teach karoi. When a person is b'teach karoi, hari ein la liyira mishum davar. L'davar Hashem Oiri. Who should I be scared about? Once my bitachon and Hashem, guys, is complete, my bitachon and the Rebbeinu Shalom is complete, b'sayin gashmius and ruchnius, mimi ira, who should I be scared from? Ve'en lo lefached mishum davar, not from anyone, but anything. V'lo yoid, el shaf min yetzer hara, ein lo l'adam lefached klal. Guess what? You don't even have to be worried about the yetzer hara. Kasher hu samich u'batuach b'Hashem, since he places the bitachon on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ki azrenu, Hashem is going to help him to escape the clutches of the Yetzer Hara. V'zeu shama ha'pasik im tachne olai machne. If your machne goes ahead and encamps against me, lo yira libi. Right. Im takem olai mulchama. If mulchama rises up against me, b'zois ani b'teach. Ube'ezim mulchama medabra kasev. Which mulchama is the pasuk speaking about? Which milchama is the pasuk speaking about? Ubeizim milchama medabra kasev. What pasuk is speaking about? Haviyomer afbil milchamas hayoseh gedola, the biggest milchama sheyesh leila adam. And what's the biggest milchama? V'zehu milchemes hayetzer v'chayilosav. That's the milchama of the Yetzer and his armies. The biggest milchama that we have is not Gaza, it's not Ukraine, it's the milchama within each side of us. The Yetzer Hara attacking us. Sha'adam tzarech lilchaim im atzmai, that a person has to fight with himself. Kimoshim mabur b'chayvis alvavis, perek mishar yichud ha'maisa, perek hey in shar yichud ha'maisa. Ba'oisa maisa chassid echad, shepaga ba'anoshim hashavim im mulchames oivim. A chassid, he went ahead, and he met two soldiers coming back from the war. So Amar lahem, he told the soldiers, Shafta min al-mulchama katana, shaylulim shalo. You returning from a war, a small war, gathering spoils. Hisadu al-mulchama hagdayla, like get ready for the big mulchama. Amar loi, umahi al-mulchama hagdayla. What's the mulchama hagdayla? Amar lahen, mulchemes hayetzer v'chayelaysav. It's the mulchama what? That's the big mulchama. The big mulchama again is not in Gaza. The big mulchama is in ourselves. V'zeu she'amar David HaMelech olav v'shalom. She'af min ha-yetzer hara eina yori klal. That's what David Hashem is teaching us. Don't even be scared of the Yetzer Hara. Ki be'yoysei samech u'b'terech b'Hashem. If you're going to place you be talking in the Rebbeinu Shalom, are you chosh be'emes shekol ha'koychos ha'acherim eina kayom klal? Anything else, all the powers that be, anything in the world, people, places, things, Yetzirah, you'll be talking about Hashem is going to come over them. V'hem ke'ayin ve'efes. They're not there. They're not there at all. U'kaloi nechshavu, and they're like nothing. When David was a shepherd, his flock was attacked by a lion and a bear, and he killed both of them. He goes out to fight Goliath, who was covered from top to bottom with armor. And he had a huge spear in his hand. The Chazal tell us he was carrying a tree. It said v'chetz chanitzai, guys. It says v'chetz chanitzai, and the chetz of his spear, they touched it v'etz chanitzai. His spear was a tree. V'etz chanitzai. He was so strong. He was carrying a tree, and he was full of what? He was full of all this armor to protect him. Right? And he even had a shield in front of him. For who? David David killed him with nothing, a stone. David hit him David as Maseu. David told him, since this Pelishtim is going ahead and cursing the legions of Hashem, you're nothing. Listen, this is what David said, guys. When he heard Goliath cursing, he says to Shaul, who's this Pelishti, this Oral? That he has the chutzpah to go ahead and curse the ranks of Hashem, the living God. And he wasn't scared, machmish, just the outside. David wasn't scared. So David David gives us an insight. Yitzchak guys shares gives us a beautiful, beautiful there, guys. In the David Hashem. If you place you be talking like Kodesh Baruch Hu, the David Hashem you light, Kodesh Baruch Hu. There's nothing for me to be scared about. No person can hurt me, no thing can hurt me. And more importantly, the Yetzirah can hurt me. And now, during these days of Elul, we're leading up to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. We should be talking to Kodesh Baruch Hu that He gives us the koyach to fight our Yetzirah. That milchama that's inside of us. That milchama, not just the milchama outside. The milchama within ourselves has that ability. And that's I never understood L'David Hashem Oiri, guys. It's a whole new thing. In Tachna Machla Alai, in Takum Lai milchama. Which milchama? Milchama is a Yetzirah. Milchama is a Yetzirah. You place you be talking to Kodesh Baruch Hu. And now he adds a different kinech. It's more for Yeshiva Bachrim, but I think it's we can hear it because we're all within us, all Lili Yeshiva Bachrim. Omnam, be'eza oifim betuachud the David HaMelech min ha-Yetzirah. In what did David places betachin that he could fight the Yetzirah? Ach, v'rak, b'zois ani b'teach. What does David say? Betachin is, kloimar, b'koyach ha-Torah. Shehu ha-hoiga b'tamid. That what he's tells it in all the time. K'mo shedosh chazal. B'zois ani b'teach, v'ein zois el ha-Torah. Shnemar v'zois ha-Torah. Right. So when David writes, the David Shemori in talking like Machne, b'zois ani b'teach. Where's my be talking to fight the Yetzirah, guys? It's the koyach ha-Torah. V'zeu shemamshich shom David Shemori, David Melech al-Shalom v'omer, acha sha'alti meis Hashem, oisa avakesh, shifti b'veis Hashem, kol yimei chayai. Rak al yedei shifti b'veis Hashem, kol yimei chayai, haru b'tuach b'mechamas hatmidiyah shal Yetzirah. By going ahead and sitting in yeshiva, and we can't sit in yeshiva, but what do you accomplish by sitting in yeshiva? It's the koyach ha-Torah. What we can do every day is learn every day. We keep the shir going every day, come every day, prepare every day, chazer every day, add on, learn another parak, a mishnayos, do something else every single day during Elul, and that will be a tremendous give us the bitachon to fight our Yetzirah, that Hashem is going to go ahead and keep us going. So I thought that was a very nice piece. The first piece that explains why we start blowing the shofar, because of the Rosh at the end of Rosh Hashanah, saying that was when I went up and they blew a shofar when Moshe went up, and that's why we stopped being on Moshe Elo. Moshe went up, and why we say L'David Hashem Oiri is to give us the impetus and the ability to think and fight, the koyach of the Yetzer Hara, the real milchama. Right? Right? I'm beteach what? That in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that if I learn Torah and I do it for the right reasons, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to protect me. We should be zeicher to what? To the true protection of B'zayis Ani B'teach.